I'm Chris Williams from Cyclone Fanatic, and a proud Iowa State graduate from the class of 2007. No one shows up like Iowa State fans.
And Cyclones support Cyclones on and off the field.
Your gift can provide scholarships to students, fund groundbreaking research. We could even drum up opportunities for the marching band. Visit MoveWhatMatters.com to learn how you can make an impact today.
This is a matchup for the ages. Body cuts a path straight to the paint, and she serves up a slam dunk. Oh, Body may have the win, but Frank really got the W on that play. That's gotta hurt.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Cyclone Fanatic Postgame Show. I'm your host, Leah Nelson. Chelsea Poppens will be joining me in the studio to talk about Iowa State women's basketball team taking down UCF today at Hilton. Pretty awesome win. But before we get started, let's thank our sponsors as always. Our title sponsor, Channel Seed. They are great. We love them. Great Iowa State fans, even better people. So shout out to Channel Seed and our friends over at Fairway Meat and Grocery. Once again, get everything you need for tailgates, dinner, you name it. Get it at Fairway Meat and Grocery. Make sure you check them out. All right, Chelsea, great win. Fun, exciting, Cyclone Hoops 2-0 today. So really awesome Saturday. But, what are your initial thoughts right after that big win?
Obviously a good win. It's good. Nobody knew that they were only going to travel with 6 players. So I think that, not to discredit Iowa State for a win's a win. But I was like, I do feel like that was a key where everyone thought that the top 3 scorers for UCF were going to play, and they didn't.
Right.
It gave everybody else an opportunity to score. Jackson and Lily. It's so good to see her hitting her 3-point shots and producing more minutes than she usually has. So I think everyone on the team and in the crowd were very excited to see her hitting those threes.
No, I was excited. Aiden, even before we started recording, was like, I thought she was going 10 for 10. So
yeah, still impressive.
So impressive. And so talk a little bit more about the bench's contribution tonight. It seemed like everyone was scoring, and it was just exciting to see. We can check out. I have bad eyesight. Look at us both. We went like this.
I'm like, where are my spectacles? Aiden, I laugh because Aiden thinks we can see this.
Aiden, can you do a little zoom? Look, he's like, oh no, look at that, a highlight.
All you can do is highlight. That's all right.
That's okay. We're giving you a hard time, Aiden.
Yeah, but it's so good to see players off the bench, and I'm like, not that we want Crooks or Brown on the bench, but it's nice to be able to give them and their bodies a break too, and let other players get some minutes and build that confidence for the more competitive games and preparing for games down the road, because we saw what happened when Emily Ryan was out. There was players that didn't have the confidence to command the court, and I think games like this help tremendously with that.
You've said it before, how do we get these younger players more confidence? And really it's just playing time, but how do you put them in when they're not contributing, whether on offense or defense? So to get them, more confidence tonight, more playing time, it was really exciting. What can they take from this game moving forward? Obviously they have really big game with Kansas State coming up, and then TCU right after it.
I think they're going to celebrate. I think that it was good all around, from the percentages to the points off of turnovers to, it was good stats all around. So I think they're just going to take this momentum into the other games. Back-to-back games is tough. And especially as we're approaching the end of the season, it's even tougher to stay locked in mentally, because physically your body's hurting. I think most people think that they're still practicing like normal practices during this time of the season, and they're not. They're showing up to practice. They're doing a walk around. They're getting shots up, practicing their free throws, running through scenarios that aren't necessarily as impactful on the body and aren't gonna send you to the physical therapist or the trainer for more ice baths than you're already doing. Everyone's kind of physically trying to coast to the next game because there's so many games in the week, and they want everybody to show up 100%.
I was going to say, like, I thought softball season was long. I mean, it is, and we were playing like 5 games on the weekend and 40 plus games, but like, I think of basketball and I'm like, they are going, because, in softball, not to discredit it, but like, sometimes you're chilling in the outfield, you might not get a ball the whole game. Whereas like,
you get a cookie and a star.
Yep, and then, a bird flies by and you're like, oh, is that a ball? Nope, because you kind of just,
TikTok.
you're just planning on like what cheer you're going to do, but basketball, you're going back and forth. You're playing hard. You're running up and down the court. So I think people kind of forget that, like, it's physical. It's a lot. And, like, it's a long season, but it's also going by fast. I mean, I think you said it or Connor said it the other day. Like, Emily Ryan's only got 4 or 5 more games than Hilton left, which is crazy.
So sad.
She's just such a legend, and like obviously such a leader. But I mean, we've talked a lot about the bench, but talking a little bit about the starters with Addie having 30, Crooks 22, Jackson 13, which is huge. I mean, Sydney Harris only had 2, but if she's not making threes, having other people step up is pretty exciting.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about it all the time. It's like once Brown needs to start hitting her shots, she's 1 for 5. I mean, she gets hers. She eats, gets her money in the bank. But I do love seeing AJ and how she's shown up. She's shown so much growth and maturity in the last couple games, and I mean, that is a direct correlation to the tough games that they played in the beginning of the preseason. And it's feel good when you see players like Lily Hansford coming in and actually getting her shots when she was 46% at Oregon or 45% at Oregon. And so I think we're finally finding a good groove and a good balance of players and coming off the bench and what that rotation looks like. And sometimes it takes a little bit longer to figure out what's working.
Well, good thing that the season is long because they get a little bit of time to figure it out. And then hopefully, they start peaking, which I feel like they are at the right time. Obviously, you never want to peak too early. But I mean, it is exciting to mention that obviously it's a young team, but that means like this full team besides Emily will be back next year, fingers crossed, with transfer portal and everything. But like talk a little bit about how important it is like to have those building seasons where maybe not everything is going right, but that only means that you could potentially like do numbers next year.
Yeah, I mean, we love to see players be thrust into these type of scenarios because, I mean, even me as a freshman, we had a class full of freshmen, sink or swim, baptism by fire. Whoever is going to show up more consistently is going to get playing time. And I think that it really just produces better teams in the long run. And especially when you have Iowa State, who has a legacy of like maintaining players and coaching staff that's not going to be turning over. There's a lot of loyalty there, and the fans respect loyalties of players consistently coming back and knowing what is expected of them and knowing that the coaching staff is going to be the same and that everyone's still going to be there. And so I think there's like something special about Iowa State. Like, yeah, we get transfers from time to time, but for the most part, people stick around. I don't imagine Audie Crooks ever going anywhere.
No.
She's a small town girl and she's not looking to go anywhere else because she has that support in that family and her friends. And that's what she values at the core of it. So it's truly special to know that like there's going to be pretty much probably the same players that you're seeing right now that are so dynamic and powerful. They're going to be there till senior year. And so then like, that's just exciting to know kind of like what the trajectory of the Cyclones is going to look like in a couple of years when we have such a good team now.
Doesn't that just make you happy to be like, a Cyclone fan and like wanting to cheer on these girls? It feels like you kind of like get to know them. Even you talked about, people started to get to know you and they'd come up and ask you questions and it's a cool fan base. So
yeah, I mean, like I think the Cyclones, the Hilton Magic and the fan base in Ames is one of a kind. People come up to you at the gas stations at Hy-Vee or wherever you're at. And
that's the most Iowa thing ever. Like out of everything, you're like at the gas stations.
Yeah.
Hy-Vee.
you're just in Hy-Vee in the first trial and someone comes up to you and they're like, Chelsea, and like, I don't really know this person, but hey.
It's just it makes you happy to be a Cyclone, and it was a fun win today, and obviously they have some big games coming up. But Chelsea, thanks for hopping on today. Iowa State women's basketball will take on number 10 Kansas State on Thursday, January 30th at 7:30 p.m. It'll be fun. Thanks to all of our sponsors, and shout out Aiden once again for producing.
Also, on February 8th, all the alumni will be in town, so you can see everybody at the game on February 8th.
Yes, put it on your calendar.